So, as I mentioned yesterday, when I was filming during the rain, I kind of felt that I needed to bust out the better camera and do a little tour. So, I just set up the solar panels yesterday, and they're doing really well. It's a 400 watt system that goes into a EcoFlow Delta 2, which is a 1,000 watt power station. And I thought I'd take the opportunity, well, it's really nice outside, it's about high 80s, take a little walk and go back down to where I really noticed yesterday that the Android camera was really fuzzy. So, I'm gonna walk down the hill here. Alright, so one of the things I'm really wanting to do is in this area, it seems to capture a massive amount of water that's coming down from the hills all around and seems to funnel really strongly right here. I mean, that's a nice channel. That's just one of them. There's a lot of them. When I walked around last night, I would say 30 of them. And I even looked very much on the other side. But you can see it pools together really well right there. I hope I'm looking at the right spot here on the camera. Yep. And what I'm wanting to do is I got the permit to harvest rainwater, which in my area, you actually have to have the right to do that. Seems odd. And then use that water that's channeled automatically anyway by nature and utilize that for natural irrigation, utilizing the water that comes from the rain and is captured. And I actually have several pond pits right here on the land that could serve really well for that purpose. Right now what I'm doing is just walking to the south. We just literally went like right through the center of the property. I'm just walking over here to the south a bit. To stand in the grove of cottonwoods in the shade. Because in the direct sun, it's pretty darn warm. So a nice little pretty meadow here. The meadow itself is actually the other people's land that's right here. But this tree is kind of the property marker. So I'm right on the edge of the property. And our property goes directly west. So as I mentioned yesterday in the rain, when this Android camera fogged up, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to use the better camera. And this is the better camera. So it's the Sony ZV-E10, records in 4K, does photos, video, slow motion stuff. It's got the nice Rode microphone set up on it and everything. It's a much better camera than an Android phone camera. So, directly to the west of this shady spot that we're standing in. I'll zoom in, and if you can see a really tall tree. We're just catching the, let's see, let's lift this up. This should do it. A very tall tree way out to the west, about 1/8 of a mile away. That's the tallest one in the Russian olive grove that's actually on our land here. So, kind of interesting. Just about in the central spot here. And then that's viewing to the east. And I'm gonna go ahead, walk back up to where I was, up at Tent City. So literally all of the central to the east section is sagebrush. A few pines sprinkled in there, junipers. And this is like a little ATV path that I'll probably put a gate like right here. Like, I wouldn't really care if the neighbor came through or whatever, but if it ever got really busy, like anybody coming by thinking they can come through, I wouldn't want that. But for a neighbor, you know, I wouldn't mind if they came by, had access to be able to check out things or what have you. Particularly with some of the plans I'm wanting to do, like utilize this pond space right here. I mean, that's an awful lot of water that would hold. And then this sheer amount of drainage that comes off these hills and capture all that rainwater to grow trees and crops and everything in the future would just be amazing. And I'm planning on putting like a walk path and a bridge and those kinds of things. So here for folks' enjoyment, just not the random any passerby kind of thing. So I'm gonna walk along the main road here. This is one of the projects I'm gonna do. I don't know if the camera does it justice, but this is actually the main road, private drive, but that hill puts it on like a 30-degree slant. That's just too much. So I'm gonna bring in some heavy equipment and get that more accessible to be able to pass through there. So right here to the left is one of those natural drainages, and my plan is to capture that right about in this section right here with a pond and have everything natural as it is, with a recirculating pump to pump the rainwater back up into this tree area where it will come right back down like a cascading waterfall into the little pond. So that's one of the plans. In fact, that one's kind of an immediate plan. Hoping to do that really soon. So here is the bathroom tent. As you may have seen in a previous video, even has toilet paper for your wiping experience. And the main tent. We are back.